Hi guys, welcome to week 10 of this course. This week we're going to be diving into what I call America's Changing. There are a number of different events that are occurring in the early 19th century, mid-19th century, what historians refer to as the antebellum period. Antebellum meaning before the Civil War. Hence you may also hear periods of history referred to as the postbellum period. That obviously would mean the period after the Civil War. But in the antebellum period, American society was experiencing massive changes. We saw this a little bit last week with changes in politics. Obviously, there's a number of changes, particularly with the onslaught or the coming of the Democratic Party under Andrew Jackson. Society itself is becoming far more democratic as property rights have been dispelled. They've been done away with as far as voting is concerned. There is a development of an urban working class that is developing at this time. And there's some significant issues with race that is going to come with the development of the working class. And so there's a whole host of things that we could talk about, but given our time frame, we obviously don't have time to talk about all of them. We also saw last week with the onslaught of Manifest Destiny, some questions about slavery are coming up again, and they will continue to come up. But this week what I want to talk about is to discuss industrialization. And in fact, America's early industrialization was sort of born out of an agricultural revolution where new technologies were being born out, were being created in order to maximize production within agriculture. One of the most significant inventions, as we'll talk about this week, of course, was Eli Whitney's cotton gin, which actually did a significant amount to make slavery profitable as it made pulling seeds from cotton easier to do without damaging the cotton. And from this agricultural revolution, the United States sort of explodes on the scene in the early to mid 19th century, and a host of new inventions are going to be developed. Of course, the railroads being one of the most important. And it's not as if the United States is the first to industrialize. Indeed, Great Britain had long been an industrialized nation, but the United States is going to sort of get thrust into the framework of that here in the 19th century, in part because of the War of 1812. When we went to war with Britain, they stopped trading with us. But we're going to be looking at industrialization this week. We're also going to be looking at antebellum reform movements. Many of these early reform movements were born out of the Christian religion. There was a desire and this belief among many Protestants that the society could be perfected, perfectionism. And the way that you perfected society was by getting rid of the ills of society. And this included inequality among women, so you're going to see some women's rights movements. The Gremke sisters are critical to the early development of the civil rights or the women's rights movement. You're also going to see some anti-slavery movements, which will eventually move into the abolitionist movement. There'll be movements toward temperance, to regulate how much people drink. And there's a number of other reform movements that we're going to be looking at this week. And so lots of changes going on, and so we're going to be looking at those. This week there is, I believe, chapter 12 in your textbook I want you to read, but there's also a short, it's about a page-and-a-half article on reform. It's just said reform, and you'll see that linked there. I want you to read that as well. Plus there's a couple videos and some websites that I want you to assess. So there's quite a bit of material this week I want you to look at. And then there's a discussion board question that I'd like for you to answer by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. And then of course you'll have one response to another student by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. as well. So make sure you're getting all that done. And then also I would highly encourage you guys to begin working on your final papers, to start outlining that material, to begin doing some research on that if you have not already done so. You don't want to wait till the last minute to get on that. So, and if you have questions on that or anything else, please feel free to contact me. Otherwise, I think that's all I got for you. So as always, go in peace, be warm and filled, and may the force be with you. Be blessed, guys.